Hello, dear teachers. I hope you guys have been doing well. And so far, the lesson of grade 1 has been going pretty good. Now, in grade 2, your main objective would be to teach the student about the constructions of sentence. By construction of sentence, I meant that the student they would be able to write their own sentence. Also, they will be able to read the sentences with their proper meaning or underlying meaning. Now, in order to do so, we need to go through the basic grammatical structure. This grammatical structure will start with sentence. In grade 1, we have done so many things. I've told you how to take classes. Now, here, I'm not going to tell you how to take classes. Rather, I will be taking the classes and you will just follow it. Do whatever I do in this video. When you are taking classes, you just do what I'm doing now. I hope you are getting me. No worries, I will try to make it as clear as possible. If you think the pronunciation is not going good or the pronunciation you are not understanding, then you could ask me to follow another accent or another style. That might be helpful. For example, you could say that the Bengali style English or the Indian style English could be helpful for you, then I will be able to follow you. No worries, let's just get started with the class. The very first thing you are going to tell them or teach the student is sentence. Sentence is the very basic of a language. If you put some words together and they form a meaning, that is a sentence. The students have been learning many sentences in grade 1 lessons. In the grade 1 lessons, they didn't know those were sentences, or they didn't know how those sentences could be constructed, how they could write those sentences. Here, we will be helping them understanding how they could write those sentences they have learned in grade 1. Now, let's get started with this sentence. Look at this picture, the very first one in the first page. What you can see? You can see that a boy is flying a kite. The boy, his name is Pooh. Now, it is saying that Pooh is playing with a kite. Pooh is playing with a kite. See, the boy is playing with a kite. So we usually do that. We play with our kite. Yeah, we fly them in the sky. Now, this is what can be explained in English. I am playing with a kite. He is playing with a kite. She is playing with a kite. They are playing with kites. These are sentences. Now here, Pooh is the subject of the sentence. Now, what is the subject? Subject is the thing or object or the person that we talks about in a sentence. Now, subject could be any name. For example, shirt, pant, sea, sky, plane, rubber, glass, hair, whatever words we have learned that has got a name is the subject. Do you remember noun? So all the nouns are subject. The next thing, what Pooh is doing? Ask yourself, what is Pooh doing here? Pooh is playing. The answer is pretty straightforward. What is Pooh doing? Pooh is playing. Now, if we get the answer of what the subject or the thing that we are talking about is doing, we get the verb. That is the task, that is the work, or that is the thing the subject is doing, and we want to talk about it. That's why they are known as verb. They are known as verb. So here, playing is the verb. Now, see, we have subject. What is the subject here in this sentence? Pooh. And then we have the verb. Pooh is doing something. What Pooh is doing? Pooh is playing. Here, playing is the verb. The work Pooh is doing here is playing. Now, he is playing with what? The next question we get. So, what are the things he's doing? He's playing. Then, with what? The question is, he's playing with a kite. It gives us some more information about the work Pooh is doing. So, what work Pooh is doing? Pooh is playing. With what? With a kite. Now, let's just sum up. Subject Pooh, playing verb, a kite is the object. Now here the whole sentence, Pooh is playing with a kite. Pooh is our subject, playing is our verb, and a kite is our object. Now we'll talk about the rest of the things like is and with, how does they come, how did they come into the sentence. We'll discuss it later. We don't need to teach the students those things at the moment. Look at this sentence. What you can see, there's a little girl. She is reading a book. See this picture? The little girl is reading a book. What? The little girl is reading a book. Now here, the name of this girl is Julie. What's her name? Her name is Julie. What Julie is doing here? Look at the picture. She is reading. She's reading what? A book. You all have a book, right? And you can read it too. Look at it. Julie reads a book. Here, Julie is the subject of the sentence. What Julie is doing? Ask yourself the question. What Julie is doing? Yes, we can see that Julie is reading. So reads here is the verb. And what Julie is reading? Julie is reading a book. That's why it's the object. A book is the object. We could say, instead of Julie, if it was me, I could say that I read a book. Or perhaps you read a book. Or perhaps he reads a book. Now, look at it. If I say I read a book, here I am the subject and read is always the verb. and a book is always the object. See, the walk here is reading, it doesn't change. You can replace the subject and it will give a different meaning. See, Julie reads a book. Julie is the subject, reads is the verb, and a book is the object. Rahim reads a book. Just replace Julie and put Rahim there. You change the subject and you get Rahim reads the book. Rahim reads a book. Rahim is the subject, read is the verb, and a book is the object. I hope this gets pretty clear now. Look at the picture, what you can see. This guy, he is pushing a trolley, a shopping trolley. He went to the shop or the store to buy some grocery perhaps. Now look at this. He is pushing a trolley. Joe went to the store. Joe went to the store. We are talking about Joe. Who? Joe. What did Joe do? Joe went. Where did Joe went? Joe went to the store. See, Joe went to the store. Now here, Joe is the subject. We are talking about Joe. Who we are talking about? It's Joe. Now, if you say Salma, then replace Joe with Salma. Salma went to the store. Who went to the store? Salma went to the store. Or you could say, I went to the store. Just replace Salma and you will get another new subject. Here, Joe is the subject. Went is the verb. Where did you went? You went to the store. The store is the object. See, we are talking about three different things. One about Joe, another about what did Joe do, and the next one is about where did Joe went. One is subject, verb, and then we have got object. Joe went to the store. Look at this one. What you can see. This guy is saying he lives in my house. He lives in my house. He, not me. It's he. He lives in my house. So you know we have a house. You have a house, right? We all have a house to live in. Don't we? We do. Right? Now here, he is the subject. We are talking about him. Another person, not me, not you. We're talking about another person. That's why we're saying he. What this guy is doing? He lives. He lives in my house. He is the subject. Live is the verb. And in my house is the object. Where is he living? In my house. What he is doing? He is living. He is living in my house. He is the subject. Living is the verb. And my house is the object here. Look at this baby. What this baby is doing? It's smiling. Yeah. Can you smile? We all can smile. Can you not? Just give it a try. Now, this is smiling. It's a word. Smiling, this word is a verb. Who is smiling? The baby. Am I smiling? No. Whee! I'm smiling now. So if I say I'm smiling, I'll say I'm smiling. Or if he's smiling, you say he's smiling. Or maybe you could say this baby. Look at this baby. What is he doing? He's smiling. He is smiling. The baby is smiling loud. Look at this baby. He's not just smiling normally like this. Rather, he's smiling. It's kind of this loud smile. So the baby is smiling loud. How the baby is smiling? The baby is smiling loud. We are talking about this baby. And this baby is the subject. And what this baby is doing? Smiling. Yeah, it's just this. The baby is smiling. Smiling word here is the verb. What the baby is doing. We're talking that the baby is smiling. So here the smile word is our verb. And the next one, how the baby is smiling. It's smiling loudly, loud. Loud. The baby is smiling loud. Loud is the object. See, the baby is the subject, and then the smiling is the verb, and loud is the object. Did you get that? Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm going to school. Yeah, let's go to the school. Take the bag and everything. And let's go to the school. Look at this girl. The girl is saying that I go to school. I go to school. Here he's talking about I, I, I. I is the subject here. And what I'm doing, I'm going, you know. Going is the verb here. Go. Go is the verb. And then where I'm going? I'm going to school. Now, we all go to school, right? You love to come to school, don't you? Look at it. I go to school. I is the subject. Go is the verb. And the school is the object. Now, we can say it differently. For example, Salma goes to school. Goes. Salma goes to school. Salma is the subject. Goes, not go. Goes is the verb. To school is the object. Alright, have you got this one? Let's go to the next one. Mom is cooking food. Mom is cooking food. Who? Mom. Who? Who is it? It is mom. Mother. What mother is doing? She's cooking. What she's cooking? The food that we're going to eat. Don't you love to eat foods? I love to eat foods a lot. Mom is cooking food. Look at this sentence. Mom is our subject. We are talking about mom or the mother. Mom is cooking. What mom is doing? She's cooking. What she's doing? Cooking. Cooking what? Foods. Now, mom is cooking foods. Here, mom is the subject. Cooking is the verb and foods is the object. Food is the object, cooking is the verb, and mom is our subject. Have you got it? Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object. It's nothing more than that. We have a subject, we have a verb, and we have an object, and we just get the whole sentence. That's pretty easy, isn't it? If it is not easy, let's do it for some more time, and definitely you're going to like it. He traveled, traveled. He traveled around the world. He traveled around the world. He is the subject. Traveled. Do you know what traveling is? Just going from one place to another, visiting the sea, visiting the mountain, visiting a city, moving from one place to another. This is traveling. He traveled around the world. See, do you remember the world is round? So he traveled around the world. Here, he is the subject, traveled is the verb, and around the world is the object. He is the subject, traveled is the verb, traveled. The world is the object. The world is the object. Look at this one. This guy is reading. Again, reading. Look at this. He's reading something different. What he's reading? He's reading a newspaper. Have you seen a newspaper? Well, it brings all the things that are happening around us. Here, there. For example, somebody has come to see you, and it could be a news. You are studying in this class. It could be a news. Now, this guy is reading a newspaper. What? He is reading a newspaper. He is reading a newspaper. Oh my God, he's reading a newspaper. Newspaper. He is reading a newspaper. He is the subject. What he's doing here? He's reading. Reading is the verb, and a newspaper is the object. He is the subject. Reading is the verb, and newspaper is the object. Hey, you guys! Did you sit for the exam when you complete the grade 1? You remember that one, right? Oh, well, if you don't remember, just try to remember. Your teacher gave you some shapes and you sat for the exam, and then they told you that you have passed the exam. Now, if you have not sit for any exam yet, you are about to sit for some exam in the future. No worries on that part. Now, look at this. See, he passed the exam. This guy sat for an exam and he passed it. This is what we want to say, or we want to write in the paper or in the notebook. So our main objective here is to say he passed the exam. Means I sat for an exam and then I passed it. And my friend, he is saying that he passed the exam. He is the subject here. Pass is the verb here. Exam is the object here. He is the subject. Pass is the verb. The exam is the object. He's the subject. Pass is the verb and the exam is the object. The exam is the object. Pass is the verb and he is the subject. We can rather say Rahim passed the exam. Who? Oh my God! Rahim? Rahim passed the exam? Oh yes! Rahim passed the exam. Rahim is the subject here. Passed is the verb and the exam is the object. Don't forget this. Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object. We have three different things to remember, and when we write anything or maybe you say anything, you make sure you say subject, you say verb, and then you say object. Rahim passed the exam. He reads a newspaper. See, it's so easy. It's not so hard to remember. Remember it at all. Just see the things wholly. Subject, verb, and on object. Subject, verb, and an object, right? Remember that. Next one. This girl is playing. What she's playing with? Do you have a doll? Well, she is playing with a doll here. Look at it. Oh, she's playing with a doll. Doll. What is it? Doll. She is playing with a doll. Mona played with a doll. Mona played with a doll. You can say it as you want it. Right. Let's just see. Mona is subject here. This girl, Mona, yeah, she's the subject here. Now, played. Play. Play. Play is the verb here. Play is the verb here. With what? With a doll. I can play with anything I want. For example, I could play with a football. Look at this football. I am playing with a football. I played with a football. Now, doll here, Mona is playing with. Doll is the object. Played is the verb. Mona is the subject. Mona played with a doll. Subject, verb, object. Mona played with a doll. Mona played with a doll. Mona is the subject. Played is the verb. What Mona is doing? She played. That is our verb. And what did she play with? It's a doll. A doll is an object. Well, I hope now you guys have got it perfectly. Subject, verb, object, then we get the sentence. So if you say it, if you want to talk about anything, or if you want to write about anything, don't forget to use subject, and then use a verb, and then use an object. It's that simple. Remember this part clearly. We will talk about this more in the coming sessions. Keep watching me, guys.